Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PoGo.
It's PoGo! PoGo! It's PoGo! PoGo! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PoGo! PoGo.
Welcome to another episode of the Puckle Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my excellent co-host. We've got the one and only Lord Jushiro.
Some say good morning, everyone.
And we've also got the wonderful R.Sigma.
Howdy.
There we go. So welcome to the Puckle Podcast. Puckle, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007, where we talk everything Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. And boy, is it everything in between.
I was just going to say, we're really right there in the in-between.
Yeah, tell me about it, though. Like, it's been one, it's a news drought, so, like, the Pokemon community, to be fair, I think the Pokemon community is thankfully in a place because the franchise is, I don't like to say it, but it's too big to fail. It is in such a place that, like, we can do, like, anything during this downtime. Honestly, I really do like that they took this downtime. I feel like it's every moment we don't get any kind of PLZA news, the more and more I feel that we're just going to get PLZA as the Christmas game next year, or the holiday game, which is perfectly fine. And then Gen 10 comes out on the 30th anniversary, which makes sense. And I feel vindicated.
I was always hoping for, so I'm okay with this.
I kind of felt like it was going to happen.
PLA was going to come pretty early next year.
Well, pretty much like the cutoff for getting any kind of news for like a quote-unquote mid-cycle game, like a mid-generation game like PLZA. Like if you don't get any news by like, I don't know, by like June, it's probably not happening. Right. Or especially if you don't get anything by August, it's definitely not happening.
Yeah, you want to make sure that people put it on their Christmas list. They like to have
like a 5-month news cycle at least.
Yeah. So if it didn't happen by August, like it's not happening this year. Like I honestly don't expect us to hear anything else about PLZA until Pokemon Day 2025. Like that's right. Kind of how I feel. I do think there's like a chance that we get something. Yeah, I think there's a chance we get something like the X and Y announcement, where they announce it like in January,
off-cycle in January or something.
Yeah, like oddly in January, they're just like, hey, by the way, this game that we told you about's coming. Right. Just to get that out of the way because they want to announce something else on Pokemon Day.
This is what I think. I think that they just missed the boat for this cycle, this quarter cycle, and they're just gonna do it what they call either winter 2024, which I think the winter goes past December, right, in terms of release time.
Well, it's not gonna happen. No, they said it was coming. I'm pretty sure it's just coming in 2025 at this point. They didn't give us any kind of release date.
No, that's what I mean. Winter, but the winter section for when it's release time and things financial, they do not end in December. I think it's like February is when winter ends.
Yeah, but I genuinely don't, like, we would know by now if it were coming out in that time frame. Like they're not gonna be like, surprise in December, surprise, a Pokemon game's coming out.
It's not this fiscal year.
Yeah, it's not coming out this fiscal year for sure.
I mean, they could do a remake in my art.
Yeah.
If they wanted to do a black-white remake, they could do that and be like, hey, it's coming out in like a month. It's like, oh, okay. And everyone would buy it.
At least give us the virtual console and all the old games again.
No, okay, so Jushiro, I hate to say it, but I think I think the old games are coming to virtual console, Switch Online, whatever the heck it is called. Right. My full expectation is that it doesn't come until we don't get that announcement until the end of 2025 or early 2026. And that's because it is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon in 2026. Right. And that's exactly what they did with the original virtual console releases for Pokemon Red and Blue. They released them on Pokemon Day 2016, which was the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. That was also like the first time they tried to make like Pokemon Day a thing. Was the 20th anniversary, which I mean I appreciate. I really do like having like this random
like a bunch of streamers. Like
I remember they like on the official Pokemon stream. It was the most awkward streams that ever existed because they obviously did not plan out any kind of content for real. Wow. And it was like Jay Witz and Shady Penguin on stream. Just doing Pokemon stuff. I think the one thing they had planned was that they got to like stream Pokemon Red, since it released that day, right. And they're gonna show off playing Pokemon Red on Virtual Console. So I don't know. But my full expectation for that release is like is November 2025. I expect PLCA November 2025. I think the TCG releases are even more telling about it because like the next two sets have like nothing to do. Like the next two sets after Surging Sparks, like the names have been dropped and they have like nothing to do with X and Y or Kalos.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I don't expect any remakes
black and
at
white
this
sets
point.
coming soon.
They're not black and white sets.
There are black and white sets announced, though.
Are there? Wait. No, I don't believe you. No, because the next set we have Surging Sparks.
Yeah, there's black and white and like Heat Wave.
We have what we have coming out is I mean I'm thinking about what we have announced. Is we have Surging Sparks coming out, right? Which is like Dragon's Majesty plus something else. And then we've got the one after that is like Pokemon Trainer set. And then we got like the Team Rocket set.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we have the Eevee set coming. Oh god, the Eevee set.
Is there an Eevee set coming? Where is it? Where is it? I need to know.
The Eevee set is the reprint set of the year in Japan.
Oh, okay.
So it's
is that it?
Like the January special set.
It'll be the January set. I'm so like honestly, okay. I was telling you before the show, but I went and sold a bunch of my old Pokemon cards to my local game store yesterday. Since I was on vacation, I was like, "What else do you do?" I accidentally found all my old Pokemon cards, and I'm never going to play Mega Rayquaza EX ever in the modern day. So I don't need these cards anymore. And so I was just flipping through binders, and I found a few like really pretty cards, and I looked them up on TCG Player. Mega Rayquaza EX, by the way, is kind of going nutsos. I don't know what happened. I didn't realize how much those cards were worth.
People like Rayquaza.
Yeah, people really like Rayquaza. And so like I pulled it out, and I ended up selling them. They valued them, and then you get a percentage because it's a card shop. It's not like I'm going to go sell them or anything. So I don't mind taking the percentage, but yeah, they were like valued at like $200 a card. Yeah, which is insane. Like, and they're just sitting in a closet. They're just sitting in a closet, not doing anything. So
are they still valid and expanded?
Expanded. Nobody. They haven't had an official expanded tournament in like years.
They don't care about expanded
anymore. Okay, because there was a point where they really cared, and then they dropped it.
Yeah, when the regionals had
expanded like is just dead. They for some reason still like update the format, but it's dead. Even then, like Mega Rayquaza,
there's no money there.
Yeah, Mega Rayquaza. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna play expanded, like a more fun format is Gym Leader Challenge.
You play Terrapagos, right?
Terrapagos is just better Rayquaza now. Like it has more HP than Mega Rayquaza as a basic, and it does the exact same thing that Mega Rayquaza does. So it
can't even attack turn one, just like Mega
exactly.
Rayquaza. It's fine. They're the same.
They're exactly the same card, actually.
They technically have not announced the sets yet.
Yeah, I didn't think they had.
But they have the trademarks for them. They have the trademarks for Black Bolt, White Flare, and Heatwave Arena for TCG.
Interesting. We'll see how that goes.
Poke Beach says it's probably like April, June set, something like that.
That sounds right, because I think the next set after like the EV set is like the trainer set, right? Where you get like Enso or Rourke or whatever, and everybody's freaking out about trade, even though it's a bit on a light card that's in rotation. And then
but I think those cards are going to be like throughout the entire year. Like I don't think they're all going to be one set.
I do find it interesting though that there is like no like. I don't know. It's super interesting to me that there is no like Pokemon C to A type thing coming, which tells me it's going to be later in the year. Like it's going to,
Like, they didn't tease megas, right?
Yeah, I think Scarlet and Violet, the Scarlet and Violet block is going to be 4 years, which is going to be kind of wild.
Well, if they're going to extend, which I'm totally for, they need to plan more DLCs.
I know. I absolutely agree with you that they should absolutely do more
I'm totally
DLCs.
fine with them extend them in 5 years if need be, but give me more content then.
I would love DLC. I think DLC is fantastic. And I mean, this is something I said about Sword and Shield. I would love for you just to do DLC. And you could do this in such a way that you fill out the Pokedex like that way too, right? And you fix the whole Dexit issue at the same time. Where you just keep releasing DLC. Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely agree. I don't know why they don't do it. I imagine what's happening is, I mean, Game Freak has historically been, and I don't know if this is the way it is run now, but it has historically been run in such a way that they have two teams. And so one team is definitely working on PLCA right now, and I imagine another team is working on Gen 10. And so there's just there's nobody left to work on DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. And that's the executive, right? The executive putting their money, no, we need a full-fledged games, because that's where the money is.
To be fair, the performance of Scarlet and Violet, I'm a Pokemon fan, okay? And I think Scarlet and Violet are, great games in terms of their content, but the performance was just absolute trash. The artwork, the assets are meh. Oh, at launch it was terrible, and it's still not great. And so I think they need to actually release a good game, because if you're not a Pokemon fan and you're trying to approach Pokemon and that's your experience, you're gonna go, I don't want to play this game. Which I think
we say that. However, this is Pokemon that we're talking about, and you just said it's too big to fail not too long ago.
No, I agree with you. I do agree with you. I do agree with you, but I think
if Scarlet and Violet teaches one thing, is that it sells no matter the conditions.
I am concerned that if they keep doing this, they'll degrade the quality of the brand, though. You know what I mean? They're just going to release another trash game that people are just going to eat up, right? And so I wonder if they'll degrade their brand if they don't try to put something out that's done well. And I think they've certainly struggled getting onto the Nintendo Switch, right? It's fine if you underperform on the 3DS or in terms of performance, because it's a 3DS. We don't expect it to perform super well. But when you get it to a home console, if you're no longer being compared to what I don't know, what's another popular 3DS friend? You're not being compared to Fire Emblem, where the feet got chopped off in Fire Emblem Awakening. You're not getting compared. No, you're not getting compared to that.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting compared to Breath of the Wild. And I think compared to Breath of the Wild,
when you play that game and its sequel, you always end up in the same point in your mind, which is how did they did this on the Switch?
Yeah, exactly.
How does it look so pretty and run so well on the Switch, and every other game doesn't?
Yeah. They played a lot of tricks, actually. There's a lot of really cool developer tricks they did.
They need to teach those tricks. Yeah, you need to teach those tricks to the rest of the Nintendo team.
Yeah. They actually did some really cool tricks. That's the reason why there's so many mountains actually in Breath of the Wild, because they can hide what they haven't loaded behind the mountains.
Right.
That is the whole reason there's mountains. That is the reason. They've stated as such. We put so many mountains in so we have to load everything.
Yeah, I've always been in the mind with the problem with the Game Freak and Pokemon being that they're always been kind of like a small team, despite it being Pokemon.
Yeah, right.
It's weird. You're one of the biggest franchise in the world. Why are your team mid-size at best?
To be fair, it's one of these weird things. Pokemon is such a weird thing in terms of a franchise, because most of the money doesn't come from the video games, right?
Right. It comes from the franchise.
The merch.
Yeah, the cards, the merch, the toys.
Yeah, I don't even know if the cards are that much of it, but
it's cardboard.
Definitely,
it is
definitely the
cards
toys.
Are worth a lot of money. Cards are
the toys are certainly a big part of this, though. Where it's just absolutely disgusting.
It's why Digimon is not making games, but it's still making trading card game.
I heard it was going downhill, the trading card game. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't see anyone playing it anymore.
I know, like I was actually super.
It's a good game, but people just that's what happens when you don't follow up with something that excites people. If you don't follow up that Digimon trading card game with a show or a game or something or a movie, it's just the hype will die down. You have to keep that hype up, which is something that Pokemon has perfected, because despite we being in this drought, we still have new episodes of the anime. We still have more cards. We still have announcement of one game that we're all waiting for. So there's still stuff to look forward to. Meanwhile, Digimon doesn't.
No, I absolutely agree with that, actually. I think Digimon, oh man, I love Digimon 2, which is like a little blasphemous to say, but on this show particularly.
So it's a big world, people. Both franchises can exist.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Digimon as a franchise. I mean, I don't know how much of it's just nostalgia, though.
It has
to be
been
fair.
it has been mishandled as heck.
Oh, absolutely. In like the past like decade, right? Like especially.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Like, Digimon's a weird thing. That could be an episode all of its own, but I don't think... That could be like an episode of all its own, but we are a Pokemon podcast.
Right.
So. right. But all right. I'm gonna cut us off here. We've been going on for a while. There is some news to talk about, so we're gonna kick on over to the news. So let's cue that epic music.
Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to the news. In the news, we've got stuff maybe to talk about. I don't know the answer to that, actually.
We're gonna try.
Pokemon Unite has added loot boxes to the game with a new Sylveon outfit. Awesome. Pokemon Unite will also be ending service in Belgium and the Netherlands at the end of next November. They won't be able to buy gems after this October. Yeah, that's probably because they started having loot boxes.
They added loot boxes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens when you have loot boxes.
That's no coincidence there.
I think that's literally against the law in both of those places.
Yep.
All right. Well, that makes sense.
And I think it's like one state here too. No.
Yeah. What kind of loot boxes are they doing? Like, what's in them? There's nothing.
Probably
at like
just
a 0.2%.
I don't care. care. In the world of Japanese products, they announced scarves featuring Chien Pao, Ferret, and Whimsicott. Okay, the Ferret one could be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Chien Pao one's pretty good too. The Whimsicott's just like straight and fluff, but you know.
There's also a Slowpoke product line with a onesie, a Mega Slowbro sleeping bag. Okay, that's kind of cool.
No, yeah.
And a Slowpoke centipede plushes. Oh no.
What?
It's where they bite their own tails.
Yes, they bite their own tails.
Oh god.
All right. Well, that's fun.
But still.
That's fun. There was nothing new on like the US Pokemon Center. I feel like I looked at it this week. I didn't see it. I mean, we got the Halloween stuff.
No,
it's been out for a while though. And a Growlithe blanket. That's what we got. All right. Well, take us to Pokemon Go, Jushiro.
Yeah. Well, what we have is the Galarian Expedition event runs October 4th through the 11th. It's not only at Shiny Samacenta, but also it's changing up the spawns of daily incense and adding the shiny Galarian birds.
Oh, that's cool.
Shiny birds are not guaranteed catch, but will not run.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I guess.
Oh, and the community day is for Swaddle this Saturday. I know, exciting. Hold on
to your hats, there, guys.
Right.
All right. In TCG news, Sigma, you've got this.
All right. So it was a light news week, so we get to talk about the Stellar Pikachu EX they showed off last weekend because it was a big tournament weekend in Japan.
Yeah,
that's what they do. After a big tournament, they're like, hey, here's the new cards for the new set. It's the base
To
of
be
our
fair,
November set. So
that November
makes sense.
set is like that one is it's like last year too. Where like we're probably not gonna know all the cards until like a week beforehand. I think I like when they do that. Like they just need to get to simultaneous releases already.
It's 2 sets combined, but
Yeah,
there's also the reprint set like January. So
yeah.
it'll be interesting. Anyway, the Pikachu card has a focus sash ability. In case you were worried, because it's a basic EX, it might die in one shot. No, it's got a focus sash, so it lives with 10 HP if it was at full. And it's 1 attack it has for 3 different energies, so it's kind of like a dragon attack, but it does 300 damage.
It's a stellar. It's a
You
stellar.
have to discard the energy. Yeah, it's a stellar attack. And if you're worried that energy cost is rough, there's a Magneton in the set that we learned about a long time ago because it's actually going to be in our ETBs. The Magneton lets you knock itself out to attach 3 different 3 basic energies to any lightning Pokemon.
Oh, cool! It's like a new Electrode.
Yeah, kind of. Any basic energies, so you can get your stellar attacks online pretty easily. And then there's also a baby Terapagos in the set. That for 1 energy, it's kind of like Arceus was. Arceus V, where you just attach 3 different basic energies to a Terra Pokemon. Because we needed that, obviously. And also, if you're worried that you can't knock out Charizard because it has 330 HP, right? 320, 330, something like that. Doesn't matter because there's a stadium that gives Stage 2's minus 30 HP in the set. Because why not?
Awesome.
Make Pikachu good. Yeah, that's what we got for TCG. I think there's also a new Ace spec they showed off that's just a...
I want to like get a bunch of Charizards to like 300 HP and then just play the stadium and just win. That's what I want to do.
The Zodiac version, what you going for?
I mean, you could also just use De-Evolution, but...
You could just use De-Evolution, but it's not as fun as the stadium, okay? Colress Tenacity, stadium. You've activated my trap card, Okay, yeah. And then our badge bonanza this month is VGC, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I've got some videos. I assume I'll put them
That's
live.
exciting. I am excited. I haven't actually played anything in Regulation H. I haven't played anything in Regulation H yet, so I need to go find some teams. Also,
There are
in
some fun teams out there.
Oh yeah. In Wo-Chien's News Corner, news brought to you at a snail's pace. 10 years ago this week, they revealed Rayquaza's Delta Stream ability and the Dragon Ascent attack. Exciting. And Puckle's Pokey opinion. Is this the year that Pokemon Go finally gets Mimikyu for Halloween? I don't care.
That would involve giving people what they want, and I'm not sure we're there yet.
I think it was like... I feel like it was 5 years ago when they added Pikachu dressed as a Mimikyu, and it's still not in.
That's hilarious. I love it. All right. Well, that is going to be it for our news, guys. We're going to kick it on over to our Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Poke Quiz, thank you for that introduction. We're going to jump right into it. Our first question this week is going to be, I'm not choosing this based on the question, but on the person's name. This is from Swagzire. I'm pretty sure they've
Swag.
seen it before.
Ooh.
Swagzire.
Swag.
What Pokemon has the highest evolution level requirement for a basic to stage 1 evolution Pokemon that can evolve again?
Ooh.
Wait, what?
What Pokemon has the highest evolution level requirement for essentially a basic to stage 1 evolution for a Pokemon that can evolve again?
My money is on Dreepy.
Either...
I think it's Dreepy. I think it's Dreepy or Swell.
I mean, what's the levels on Drippy? Because I'm thinking dragons, but
it's Dino or Dreepy, I think. Because
what's the level on Drippy?
I think it evolves at like level 50.
Oh wow!
Like I think it evolves at 50 and then like 63 or something. Whereas Dino, it also evolves pretty high, but I think it's like high 40s or mid 40s.
Then I will go with Drippy. Yeah,
but I think it's Dreepy.
It's the one dragon I've never trained. I've never actually trained
like
a
you,
Drippy.
You
so
catch it at the level where
I'm
it's
at
probably going
disadvantage
to
here.
evolve, I think, a lot of the time. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll go with Drippy. Because I was just thinking of other dragons.
Dreepy is unfortunately incorrect. The answer is actually Bisharp. Pawniard evolves into Bisharp at level 52.
52. That one I knew, and I forgot it
And
evolved
King
again.
Gambit and Bisharp can evolve into King Gambit.
That's
so.
a good question.
Yeah.
That tricked us. Yep.
I was thinking it
tricked us.
evolved by level afterwards too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gambit.
Yeah. It was a good
That's
choice. Like, Dreepy was pretty good, though. That was a good one.
I'm pretty sure Dreepy evolves light.
Yeah.
50, yeah.
Dreepy does evolve at level 50. You are correct about that, yes.
Yeah.
All right. This next question is from Batista. What level does Wishy-Washy need to be in order to activate its schooling ability?
I think it's 20.
It has to be a level?
Yeah, there's actually a
didn't know
certain
that
level where like
abilities have
Wishy-Washy
requirements.
won't. Yeah, Wishy-Washy won't actually do the schooling until it's at a certain level. Fun fact. So
think
like
it's
if you
always
play
a
Sun
fun
and
fact. I
Moon
didn't know that.
or a game where like Wishy-Washy is too low, it just won't ever do it. Are you gonna go with 20?
Yeah, again, I didn't know this fact, so I thought it would transform at any level, so I'll go with whatever.
I want to say
Sigma
like
says.
when you're fishing for it, there's a small chance that you find a level 20 when you're fishing. But most of them are like 13 to 16 or something. I don't know, something like that.
Gotcha.
All right, so
Interesting.
we'll go with 20, and that is correct.
Yes.
It is level
Good
20.
one, Sigma. Well, these are good questions today.
Yeah. All right, this question is going to come from Liger, the trivia master himself.
Liga.
This is your Pokedex entry question, as always. This entry is from Pokemon Ultra Sun, and it reads, it boasts power enough to split large trees in half. The organ on its rear releases an odor that it uses to communicate with others of its kind. Who's that Pokemon?
The organ in its back.
The organ
can
on its rear
crush.
releases an odor.
On its rear.
An
Isn't this the monkey guy, the big one, the sloth? Oh, what's his name? Not Slackoff. The
Like
evolution.
Slackoth or
Is it Slackoff the final evolution? I always forget
There's-
that line's name.
Slacking, but yeah. Slackoth, Vigoroth, Slacking.
Slacking, yeah. That's right. That's the because it gives me that baboon. Oh, the second one, Vigor or whatever. Does have because that sounds like a baboon, right? To me,
A baboon, yeah. I don't think it would be Passimian.
No. Passimian always have soccer.
They're
related
playing with the
whatever,
ball or
football
something,
related
yeah.
references. Yeah.
Just like how
and
Oranguru
the
always
thing
has,
it's
like,
telling us it's
anti-bullying.
really strong, and it's telling us that it releases something from its butt. And those seem to me monkey related things. So I'm thinking Slacking or Vigoroth.
Yeah, I want to say
It's
Slacking
what's coming
is in
to
those
mind.
games, I think.
Yeah. Because other than that, I can't recall anything. something in its rear, an organ on its rear. Who has an organ in its rear that is not a tail? And it's in the forest. Doesn't come anything to mind.
Yeah, I'm okay with trying slacking and seeing what the next entry is.
Slaking is unfortunately incorrect. The next entry is going to be from Pokemon Sword. And it reads, its fluffy fur is a delight to pet, but carelessly reaching out to touch this Pokemon could result in painful retaliation. Its fluffy fur is a delight to pet, but carelessly reaching out to touch this Pokemon could result in painful retaliation.
Oh, isn't this... Wait, Ultra Song and Ultra Moon, isn't this... I can't remember the generation.
Potentially, yeah.
Beware.
It's strong. It's in both games.
It's strong.
It does have an ability that says it is fluffy.
Uh-huh.
Like, literally an ability called fluffy.
Fluffy, exactly. Yeah.
I'm surprised he has the...
And he
I'm
looks cute, but he's dangerous. Yeah, I might go with Beware.
Beware, I will give it to you. It's actually Stuffle, but that is close enough.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
Fair. Man, organ in the back, that one killed me.
The tail, the tag is actually an organ. Like the tag.
Oh.
The tag. Yeah. So you guys are 2 for 3. Your next entry is going to be your multiple answers. You are at 2 for 3, so you have a chance to get 4 points here. There are 4 answers for this question, and I'm not sure that Jushiro will be able to get any of them.
Well, if you're a betting man, that's a sure bet.
So this is from the Mighty G. What are the 4 non-signature abilities introduced in Generation 9? Signature abilities are abilities that are exclusive to a line or a group like Paradox Pokemon.
So it's a group.
Oh, non-signature abilities, yeah. Yeah, these are abilities that are on multiple Pokemon.
More of the old games
so are the paradoxes groups of Pokemon or no? You photosynthesis and okay. Yeah.
They are, so you would not be able to count their ability. Yeah, you would not be able to count their abilities.
Okay. Special abilities, right?
These are abilities that were introduced that are not on a specific group of or an individual Pokemon.
Okay, I've got one. Wind Rider was one, but wasn't anymore when they added Shiftry. So ha.
That is correct. Wind Rider is one of them.
Oh wait, the question is that they used to be signatures and they
No,
they aren't signature.
They're just
abilities.
not signature abilities.
Oh.
But they are introduced in
Generation
Gen
9.
9. Like Well-Baked's Body is a signature ability. Co-Star is a signature ability.
Right.
Whatever the other one that
the dolphin one,
Espatra has is a signature ability.
Yeah, Zero to Hero or something like that.
Yeah, that's a signature ability. So we're looking for abilities introduced, but they aren't exclusive to one set of Pokemon.
Yeah, no, Thatch, your money was right there. I have no idea.
If I was a betting man, Jushiro, I would have bet a lot of money that I was
right. That's why I have Sigma, though. That's why I have Sigma. Sigma completes me.
We'll see if we can figure out.
You do have the hint as well.
Because, like, Super Sweet Syrup is only on one guy. Hospitality.
Okay.
We should probably use the hint.
The hint, there are 3 other abilities you're missing that aren't Wind Rider. One of them is shared by 4 Pokemon. 2 of them are Hisuians. Hisuian Pokemon. And one is a Gen 9 Pokemon. Sharpness is correct. That is 2. Another one is shared by 2 Gen 9 Pokemon that are vaguely dog. Well, not vaguely. They are dog themed. And then there is one more. Guard Dog is a 3rd ability, and then one more is shared by 2 Hoofed Pokemon. One is kind of introduced in Gen 9, but maybe it wasn't always originally in Gen 9, and one is an extension of a previous form. Or a previous Pokemon.
So Terrace.
Yeah, hooved.
Hooved. They give you hooves.
Man, yeah, no, I'm useless in this question. I cannot recall any new abilities other than the signature ones that we just mentioned because they're very memorable.
The hooved one is actually
They give you hooves.
I swear to God, if they do eventually do a Taurus and its Pokemon ability is it has hooves, I'm gonna just say it was us.
They did do a regional Tauros.
No, what I mean, the ability says it has hooves. Me dreaming that Pokemon Company actually listens to us every once in a while. We are the longest running podcast after all.
The longest running Pokemon podcast. A badge we wear with both shame and honor.
I'm stalling, of course. Has that helped, Sigma?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, and I'm like, I don't. It's like I can't think of
I need
it.
an answer here.
That's a tough question. Yeah, just throw something out there.
Yeah, I got nothing. Like I can't even think of anything with hooves.
It gives you hooves.
All right. Well, I'll give you 3 points for this.
Okay.
It gives you hooves because it's shared by the Paldean Tauros and Farigiraf. Cudshoe.
Oh, Tudju, yeah.
Cudshoe,
Don't even know what that is.
I have never seen something use that.
No, I've seen somebody use it on a Farigiraf, and I don't know why. When you could just use
What does
Armor
it
Tail
do?
instead.
It lets you use a berry a second time.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But like both of them have better abilities. Like you're never
Yes.
not running
You're
Armor Tail on a
absolutely
Farigiraf.
correct.
At least in doubles. And you're never not running Intimidate on your Tauros.
Right.
Like,
All right. Well, you guys are 5-4-4. Your last question is your base stat question. As always, this is going to come to you from Zay Paladin, as we're about to enter Spoopy Month. Which fully evolved Ghost-type Pokemon has the lowest base special attack?
Lowest base special attack, Mega Banette.
I was going to say
Special attack.
Banette or Mega Banette makes sense.
Ooh, or Dust Clubs.
Dustamar is not like super high either, but neither is its regular attack. So, it could be Bramblegast. It could be Greavard or whatever Greavard's evolved form is.
Okay.
There are a lot of ghosts that don't have special attack.
Which is funny. It's funny. And it's considering that the original
ghosts
Ghost
were
was
originally
attack.
introduced as a physical, attacking type.
It's a physical,
so.
yeah, I know. Which has never made sense one bit.
Thanks, Lick. Thanks, Lick. It's all Lick's fault. It was the only ghost move, so
yeah, and it didn't work on
Lick makes
Psychics.
contact and is physical, so yeah, it was.
Nope.
it was not a good move.
Yeah, what do you think it is?
It might still be Banette, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it was like
my mind goes back to
Poundstone.
Banette.
I know Banette wasn't
it's
great.
all attack and nothing else.
It's like all attack and defense, I think.
Yeah, want to go with Banette? Do we have
I'm
to say
okay
the
with that.
Mega Evolution?
I don't care if you say the Mega Evolution or not.
I feel like it wasn't like Mega Beedrill.
Okay.
I feel like it's the same. I feel like the stat was untouched. It's not like Mega Beedrill where it's like, no, let's take that special attack down to nothing.
Yeah.
Like actual zero special
Banette.
attack on Mega Beedrill.
Banette is incorrect. The answer is Shedinja.
Oh.
Shedinja has a base 30 special attack.
Wow.
And the lowest special attack, second place, goes to Houndstone, Annihilate, Runarigris, Mimikyu, and Alolan Marowak, and Shield Form Aegislash, all at 50. And then Golurk's in third at 55.
Wow. We weren't even on the board.
Yeah. You said Houndstone.
What was Bayonets then? I'm gonna.
I don't actually know what Bayonets is.
We did say Houndstone was a possibility.
Yeah, Houndstone was second place, tied with like 50 other Pokemon. But all right. The rest of the score is changed. The leaderboard is changing. There are, I believe, I'm going to give a quick count here for myself. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chances left for you guys to change up the leaderboard before the end of the year when we go into our tournament. To see who wins the $25 gift card to Olive Garden.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually that's a joke, Jushiro. Don't take that seriously.
I'm like, Olive Garden, yeah, sign me up.
Jushiro's over here like, Jushiro's like, you mean a free meal and unlimited breadsticks?
Right.
I'm here
it's
for
like,
it.
What? Yeah. It's a prize if I ever saw one.
But yeah, I believe that. The leaderboard is as of current. You need to be in the top 4 to be able to compete in the final tournament, which will premiere on the week of Christmas. In first place, we've got Whimsicott with 29 points. In second place, we have a 2-way tie between Claude9 and R.Sigma. In fourth place, we have Seth Vila with 27, so that's our top 4 right now. In fifth place, we've got Bocephus with 23. In sixth, we've got Shark Finnegan with 21. In seventh, we've got Sublime with 20. In eighth, Jushiro with 27. In ninth, Linian with 16. And Dr. Shamu is in last with 13. Still, anybody can get up to that top 4 there. So
it's anyone's game.
It's still anyone's game. I mean, another 9 weeks. Anything could happen in 9 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Jushiro could be on for 9 weeks in a row. And
it could happen.
It could happen. Will it? Probably not, but it could. It could. So, with that, guys, we're going to kick it on over to the topic. If you want more Pokel's Poke Quiz, tune in next week. Like I said, though, topic time. Hey, Thatch here. A lot of you have been asking how you can hang out with us during the week. Well, the best way to do so is come to our Discord server at puclpodcast.com. You can join our server and you can hang out with us, talk Pokemon, battle, do a bunch of cool things, join in our tournaments. So what's stopping you? Come on over, puclpodcast.com. You can jump right on in and have a good time talking with the hosts of the show, as well as the large community we've gathered over the years. So come on, let's hang out. Welcome to the topic. Our topic today is gripes with Pokemon. I don't actually know if this is going to be like with the franchise itself or just with like the community or what.
Or the industry or everything.
Yeah, it could be anything. Honestly, like I've got a couple, like
everything's on board.
I don't know if it's even gripes per se with them, as more of like things that I really want to do, but I don't know that like I'm compatible with sometimes. Like I do have the gripe with the Pokemon trading card game getting so big. We were talking about this a little bit before the show. Like it's gotten really big over the past couple years, to the point that, I mean, to be fair, they are meeting the demand with like the cards as they're printing them.
Right, but like everything, when you add a lot of people to it, it just creates a lot of havoc.
I mean, one, the tournament venues can't handle it because Pokemon is growing at such a rate that they can't adequately prepare for it, if that makes sense. Like, all of the regionals sell out. Every regional sells out. And they keep hitting your records.
I think it's a little better this year so far. I think it's less 10-minute sellouts and more like it lasts an hour.
It lasts more than an hour. It's definitely like a couple days, typically, for a regional. It still sells out.
But like last season, it was minutes. Like people would sign up and they'd be turned away at like 10 minutes if they didn't get there in time. Whereas now it at least lasts a little longer, which is nice.
Yeah, it's pretty rough though. Like,
but still problem.
I mean, it makes me not want to compete at that level just because it's so much work to do. I don't know. It's so much stress that I don't need in my life.
It's too cutthroat. It's too demanding, and it's just like, eh.
I remember when regionals you could just like sign up for them nonchalantly and then just go hang out. And I feel like that's just not one, I don't think it's super welcome to do that anymore, which is a bummer. But I don't know. It is very frustrating, I find, when I think about it.
Like Worlds venues, just like you can't plan ahead to want to be there, right? Because those are done by lottery now. Like
it is done by lottery. You can't spectator passes are done by lottery because they're just so big. I mean, it's partially because I think Pokemon, the company, has been trying to make Worlds more and more of a community event rather than just like a tournament, which it used to be, which is fine.
I mean, luckily they did get rid of I remember back in the day they used to do tournaments there, like for the people who fail out day one, so they can start getting their championship points there. And they don't do that anymore, which makes sense considering not everyone can go to them anymore.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. They canceled that last year. Not in the 2024 Worlds, but the 2023 Worlds they did that. And yeah, it was I remember people were complaining about that. I'm like, but should they? Like, not everybody could attend, and I feel like if you're going to be that cutthroat about your CP, like that's kind of intense anyway. I don't know. Like I understand people are competitive, and I think that's perfectly valid because you can enjoy the game in different ways. But I don't know how Pokemon feels about people being competitive, honestly.
Well, it's the money element, right? As soon as I remember when I was doing the TCG cast and the money element was brought in, and the immediate thought was, oh, this is going to ruin the game or the community of the game. Because once you establish money prizes, that's where you get all the losers that are just in it for the money. The griftsters and the hucksters and all the trolls online. I
do get confused. I'm going to say confused and not annoyed by, because I am just genuinely confused here. I follow a lot more TCG people now since I've gotten back into the trading card game. And I am surprised by the number of people who play the Pokemon TCG aware of like new Pokemon when they come out. Like when Gen 9 released, there were a bunch of people I would see on social media that were just like, oh, like, because the Scarlet and Violet set came out 6 months after Scarlet and Violet. They're like, oh, these are new Pokemon that I haven't seen yet. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? These have existed since November.
Because you got the people that are in it for the money, right? It's people that don't even have their own cards.
I don't know if all of them are in it just for the money, or if they're just that many people that like they found their happy place in the Pokemon franchise, which is the card game.
Not in well, yes, but well, I guess yeah.
I am confused by some of those people not being like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird that they're such big fans of just like that one aspect. That's weird to me.
That's the thing. Right. It is.
And that could just be a me thing.
Right.
I do find it super odd when people focus only on that one aspect of it.
Right. It's like I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh fan of the show, and it's like, isn't that Yu-Gi-Oh the card game the thing, right? The main thing you should be aware of, but you're a fan of just the show. It's weird, right?
It feels weird.
You wouldn't expect it.
It certainly feels weird.
Nowadays, I understand it.
Yeah, but even though those are not bad, those are not the fan that those are, I still consider fans and they're fine. My problem is those that are just not.
Usually that's the financial people, though. Those are the people investing in their Evolving Skies packs.
Yeah, those people, okay, like major like pet peeve.
The crazy people who go to the Target and steal all the cards.
Or McDonald's.
Like, we have a new trading card game shop newer trading card game shop that opened up. And they originally did like all of the card games, like at least the big three, plus they were like really into Bloodborne. Or not Bloodborne, the other one.
Flesh and Blood?
Flesh and Blood, yes. So they were doing that, and they eventually cut like everything that wasn't Magic and Pokemon from their store.
Yeah.
They're a smaller store, so that kind of makes sense. And so I went in there one day to like go check out their singles, because this one's honestly just closer to my house. Like, anything closer to my house is a win for me. Like, you'll get my business even if you're charging $1 more a card, because I can just drive to you in 10 minutes. So I went over there one day. I was in there, and like they pick, like a phone call comes in while I'm looking at through their stock and stuff like that. Like, I was looking through the binders, and somebody, like, it was obviously like somebody asking if there's a booster box there, and he goes, yeah, no, that booster box has been doing really well. Like, that's a good buy. I'll hold on to a couple for you just so you can like hold on to them. And I'm like, okay, this is not the kind of place that I want to support. I guess there's like valid reasons. Like Pokemon definitely. I saw like a YouTube short the other day of some guy like asking why somebody would buy Pokemon cards for exorbitant amount of money, and they're just like, well, the value of those actually go up with inflation. And I'm just like, this is a really weird take to have about Pokemon cards. We have people who are complaining about like the US dollar not being backed by like gold anymore. Mm-hmm. But like you want to go to cardboard that has imaginary values due to collectors. I don't know.
It's crypto, man. It's crypto. That's the thing. You know, like cards, Beanie Babies, all these things are just the old-fashioned crypto. And they're never gonna work because the problem, or they're not stable enough because the problem is that it depends on what people look at it and what they feel about it. And the moment that something bigger or better comes out, and the fab is over, that's it.
Honestly, just like God forbid there's a reprint for Pokemon cards. You know what I mean? Like we could... Pokemon's actually been really good about...
I mean, we already had reprints.
It's the full arts that people invest into, at least. But have you been on the internet this week where they banned like 3 of the most expensive cards in Magic in their casual format that everyone plays?
No, because I don't actually play Magic. No, it's hilarious.
Well, the internet always does.
I saw a lot of people from other card games talking about it this week just because it seeped into their timelines because of how big it was. But yeah, they went out and were like, okay, we're banning this $200 card and these 2 $100 cards. And it's like, oh.
Right, but did they set that price? That's my question. That's my problem. Because did they set that price? Because that's the what I always, like, people like to complain, but they complain about issues they're the problem. Right? That card couldn't have cost $200 unless the community made that worth, because I doubt that Magic is selling individual of those cards at $200.
Well, no, but this is kind of like the ethics of like any TCG, and I don't really want to get into it here on the show. but yeah, I mean, Pokemon has actually been very good at combating this, especially as of late. Like in like the last,
it does really good at reprinting the cards for people to play with them.
Like the most expensive A spec is hands down Prime Catcher. And they are honestly responding to it. Yeah, they're like, it's getting reprinted, and the A-Spec Prime Catcher goes for $30 on TCG Player right now, which is honestly, if you play other TCGs, not that bad for like...
I think it might have already dropped to 20, but yeah.
It says 20 on there, but if you actually go in there, it's because there's like a couple guys that are like selling it for 20. And they're kind of like really risky buys, and then it's 30 if you go to like a verified buyer. I know because I looked today because I was like, should I buy an extra Prime Catcher?
The answer is not until November.
Not until November. Not until November when they're reprinting this Charizard EX deck, which, by the way, Jushiro, is essentially a tier 1 deck for $30. It comes with Prime Catcher, which is a $30 card, so it's going to tank the Prime Catcher market, which is going to be great.
Nice.
Because it also comes with Charizard EXs, which I'm not even sure how much a Charizard EX goes for nowadays, but it's probably like $5 on that order. Because Charizard is a good card. The Pidgeot that are in that are definitely going for like $10.
Well, to bring the things back into the video game, yeah, bringing it back to frustrations and bringing it back to the video game. My frustration with the video games is their knack of removing very loved features from each generation. Why give us something that we really like and then take it away from us?
What feature in particular are you thinking of when you bring this up?
Well, we can go with the obvious and say the Mega Evolutions. It's one.
I'm gonna give Game Freak responses when you're done. But.
And then the ability to grow my own berries. I miss that a lot. I love the farming element of it. Why can't I grow my own berries again? I want to have my own little farm again.
I'd even accept the Heart Gold Soul Silver option where you have the pocket growing. Like, just grow them in your pocket, but still.
Yeah, the pocket greenhouse.
Right.
Like, yeah, the XY farm was cool.
The answer to like Mega Evolution and stuff like that, well, I don't think it's a good answer, Jushiro. but the answer to that is they want each game to feel different. And I think they've established that, because like what the idea is they want X and Y to be remembered as the Mega Evolution game. They want Sun and Moon to be remembered as the Z Move game. Sword and Shield to be remembered as the Dynamax game, and and then Scarlet and Violet as the terrestrialization game, which is fine. And I would say that like terrestrialization and Z moves are rather inoffensive. Honestly, I would say all three of them that are Mega Evolution are actually very not offensive, because they aren't adding to the Pokemon, if that makes sense. Like, they're modifying the Pokemon. Like, terrestrialization, you're just changing the type. Z moves, yeah, you're changing one of the moves.
Outside of like Ogerpon and Terapagos, yeah.
Dynamax, yeah, you're just making them big. Yeah, absolutely. I guess we could say like Ultra Necrozma as well. Like, Ultra Necrozma's locked away forever, which kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Mega Evolution does something where it adds a major form to Pokemon. Like, I don't think Gigantamax forms count, by the way. Like, they are so nonsensical and shouldn't exist.
No, they're just an extra move. Like,
Mega Evolution, that's new abilities, new stats, like the whole shebang. Those are like new Pokemon. And I'm kind of bummed. I don't know. They don't recognize that Mega Evolution is different. This is why it's so loved by the fan base. This is why Z moves and terrestrialization aren't in Pokemon Go, but Mega Evolution is. And Dynamax is there because of stupid reasons, but that's a whole other thing. But these are the things I think about. Yeah, because marketing, that is the answer.
Because marketing. Because they felt bad that they waited. They felt bad they waited 5 years to add Score Bunny to the game, so they needed something special about its edition. It's fine.
I do agree with you. Like, I have a major gripe. My major gripe is that like Mega Evolution itself is just like they try to treat it like it's not something different, though they treat it like something different. Like, you know what I mean? What mechanic?
Like, it got to come back to another game, right?
Yeah, it's in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX. Why? Why is it there? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Why is it there? I don't know. Like, it's just so frustrating. I am endlessly frustrated by the way they talk about Mega Evolution as if it's not something different, yet it's something different it was the first one. I think you'd still have the same problem if you introduce Z moves and then Mega Evolution. If you were to introduce Z moves and then Mega Evolution, I think you would have the same issue.
Because you created new Pokemon.
Yeah, you created new Pokemon, exactly.
Like you said. And now we don't have access to those Pokemon unless we have those old games. And sure, they can come up with a remake and we're gonna be happy, and PLAC is coming.
I was gonna say, we're gonna get them next gen. I'm not too worried.
You think Gen 10's gonna have them? You think Gen 10 will have them?
They will probably be in Gen 10 because of ZA. Yeah, because of ZA.
Because of PLZA, Gen 10 will probably have it.
Just like how Legends Arceus gave us all of the Hisuian forms in Gen 9, we'll get all the new Megas in Gen 10. Like, that's my expectation anyway. And you have to bring back the old Megas too, but...
The Megas, I would only expect if there's a new Mega present in Z to A. Like, if Z to A introduces, like, Mega Greninja or something like that, I think that's how you get... And honestly, they should. They should honestly introduce Mega Evolutions for each of the Kalos starters and make Mega Greninja just Ash Greninja. Because they've already gotten rid of that form. It doesn't exist anymore in the game.
I mean, I expect that to be why they got rid of the form, is because Mega Greninja is coming. Though it also could just be because...
I think they just got rid of it. So I think they got rid of it. I think they got rid of... I don't even think it's because Ash is gone. I think they got rid of Ash Greninja because they didn't want like anything similar to Mega Evolution to keep existing. I think that is honestly why.
Until they re-add it 2 years later. But yes.
Yeah, exactly. I don't expect Battle Bond Greninja to exist. I do expect I wouldn't be surprised if like Mega Greninja is just Ash Greninja though. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. There's a very good possibility for that.
What about you, Sigma? Do you have a feature or something, gripe with the Pokemon Company?
So this past month I've been speedrunning the Titan speedrun, and can we get dialogue skip, please? Please? I just want to press start and end the dialogue. It goes on for like 3 minutes at a time, just mashing through. I'm honestly
surprised. Like, I haven't seen a game like this in a very long time. Like, a lot of developers are very smart about the way they do their tutorials, and right now I would say Pokemon is not one of those. Scarlet and Violet was better, I think, than previous gens, but
I was gonna say Scarlet and Violet was fine compared to other things, but yeah.
Sword and Shield was incredibly frustrating. Sword and Shield, I remember, I felt while starting Sword and Shield like, oh man, this is taking forever. Please just let me play the game. Max Mofo on YouTube, like he had his playthrough and I like stumbled upon it like a couple weeks later, and he just starts screaming like, just let me play the game. Like, just let me play the game.
Yeah, there's like a 40-minute tutorial for Sword and Shield or something like that.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's not even like a good tutorial that's like I like the introduction to Sun and Moon is long too. Like I think it's like 2 hours almost. That's not even that's not even a joke. I think it's like 2 hours. But at least
it depends on if you consider the entire first island, but yeah.
I don't include the entire first island. I include up to like through the trainer school. Like through the trainer school is pretty long, but at least like your
trainer school takes like 40 minutes, yeah, 50 minutes, 6.
Yeah, at least you're like moving through and doing something while you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you have a little bit of Control. Sword and Shield were like horrible because you're going down one route, which isn't that exciting of a route to be fair either. You're barely catching anything.
No, it's not a good route.
It's not a very good time. Scarlet and Violet, like you definitely have a lot of text up front because like you do that thing where you meet.
No one's happy to get that Letty, but no one.
At least Scarlet and Violet though, like after like 20 minutes or so, like you can go and you can just like go wild catching Pokemon. Then you still have to finish like the trainer school like book worth of dialogue. Then you can go and play the game. It's
crazy how much they get you through in the tutorial and how little you actually learn about how to play the game. There are so many random and hidden mechanics in Pokemon that I'm amazed it's still as popular as it is. Granted, you don't need to know any of the stuff.
I think Pokemon One has like they unfortunately / fortunately for themselves like struck gold with like the gameplay loop of Pokemon. Like the gameplay loop of Pokemon is fantastic. I think we're all sitting here today because of that gameplay loop being as good as it is. Like monster catching genres, when they don't essentially copy the Pokemon gameplay loop, just aren't as successful. Like a big problem with like early competitors was like that their capture mechanics were just kind of awful compared to Pokemon. When they copy the capture mechanics, like it's fine, but they might have a thing where like, oh, it doesn't listen to you or some other nonsense. Or the battle mechanics are like way too intense. Like I'm thinking about like Digimon Cyber Sleuth or something in that respect, which is still a fun game, by the way. Going back to our earlier Digimon.
Or Yokai Watch, which was, the fight was just weird.
Yokai Watch had the old school capture mechanics of like early Pokemon competitors.
Yokai Watch was like a lot of RNG, wasn't it?
It was all RNG, even the fights.
Like the first game I could think of, there was Dragon Quest Monster Hunter 2, which was a very similar to Pokemon-esque game. You could catch the monsters from Dragon Quest and use those to battle. But the problem with that was the capture mechanics were RNG based, where you essentially like fed the monsters, and then hopefully you're lucky enough that they want to join you at the end of the battle. And it's the same thing with Yokai Watch. Which is just not. I don't know. It's not satisfying.
You do not feel the same. Yeah, you don't feel the same level of control as you do in Pokemon when it comes to the capturing.
It's just not the same. So that's like, I think honestly, like that's a lot of the magic of Pokemon is that.
Yep.
Or at least a good amount of the magic of Pokemon is that. Not to mention like the Pokemon designs are done very well. You know, it's very interesting to see some of that. I don't know. I do get very frustrated at a lot of those Pokemon mechanics.
Yep. I'm also frustrated that we don't have enough DLCs, as we have discussed previously.
Yeah, I think I discuss this all the time. I do think the Pokemon DLC is not nearly as exciting. Like they could do more with it. Like I would not be opposed to just like 2 more DLC packs like that come to Scarlet and Violet, especially if we're going to wait for like a whole other year. That would have been really cool for them to do. Granted, I don't know what kind of resources go into that, so they might just have a lot of resources that need to go into it.
I mean, they are creating a full new map, so...
Exactly. So I don't know what the resources are that go into that, so I don't want to be like, oh, they should just do it. Like, they've got the time. But they might not. Because, like, we were talking about before, like, there's an A team and a B team at Game Freak, and only one's probably working on Z to A and one's working on Gen 10 right now. And I'd much rather have Gen 10 play well for the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. Like, I really want Gen 10 to play well.
I mean, it's kind of it would kind of be the thing where you'd want to outsource it, but you can't really outsource it because the people you'd outsource it to would have to work with the code you already have, which is like, Like, it's something you could maybe put Ilka on.
Yeah, I don't even know what Ilka's doing nowadays, honestly.
Like, Ilka would be better suited. They made a One Piece game that just came to the Switch after it was on, like, every other console.
Yeah, I don't know. Ilka is weird.
And people are saying that maybe that Mario and Luigi game is Ilka. I think Ilka can do fine if they are given proper time.
I still do not believe there is an issue. I do not believe that there is an issue with BDSP. I think the community overreacted. And I think BDSP
Well, one, the community was playing the Day Zero version, like the unedited version, or the one without Day One patch, right?
Like, BDSP is a perfect...
And they based their opinions off of that.
BDSP is a perfectly fine game, and if we were to get a Black and White / Black and White 2 remake that was made in the style of BDSP, I would be perfectly happy with that, because I like Jushiro was talking about earlier today. I don't even know if we said it on air, but I genuinely think that every Pokemon game should be playable on Switch at some point, and I think you have to remake pretty much all of the DS and 3DS games like they remade BDSP to be able to have that experience. Like, I do not think you will be able to do.
And like, that's a good job for Ilka.
Yeah, and I think BDSP perfectly served that purpose of being like, hey, Gen 4 is now on a single screen system that you can play, because it's just Gen 4. That's literally what that game is. Plus, like, the Underground, which is kind of cool. But I think people didn't appreciate it.
I think they did a good job with the Underground. I think they could have used more Platinum influences, but Black and White don't have that issue. So I'm kind of okay. like the issue, I think the main issue with BDSP is it didn't use enough Platinum.
Yeah. Which is what everybody complains about.
Going forward, every other game on the DS doesn't have that problem. Like, yeah, like there isn't that problem with any other game on the DS, like, or 3DS.
Yeah. The only concern I have, honestly, is how they handle Gen 5. And as long as they handle Gen 5 in such a way that Black and White 2 also gets appreciated, I don't think I'm going to care. And I wonder if the reason we didn't get a Gen 5 remake yet is because they don't know how to answer that question either.
I would have accepted Heart Gold Soul Silver as well.
Heart Gold Soul Silver should, but I think what the more realistic way we're getting Johto again is through some kind of Switch Online. We're just going to get some Switch Online. We'll just get Switch Online. Switch Online will give us Gens 1 through 3, and that's how they're going to handle that. And honestly, I have no problem with that. I think that's the way they should handle it going forward.
No, I think that's fine.
I think BDSP is perfectly fine, though. And I think people who complain about it are just mad that they didn't get an updated version, or they didn't get more than an updated version of a game that was made 15 years prior.
They wanted Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and they just wanted to literally put the same game out. And I think putting the same game out was what I expected.
They did make it very clear in the marketing that is what they were doing. Nobody paid attention to that.
Maybe the issue was the naming, and it should have just been Diamond Deluxe and Pearl Deluxe, so you wouldn't think that it was something different, because the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl name kind of invokes that it's going to be like the other remakes, maybe?
Yeah, like Soul Silver and Heart Gold, yeah.
Like, maybe the naming was part of the issue, and it just needed more clear that it isn't more, if that makes sense.
All right. Well, I think this is a good place to stop, because I feel like we can go on for way more.
We have so much more negativity to go, but we'll leave it.
I mean, we obviously love Pokemon.
I mean, this is the first time in a while where I've done an episode where we've talked about bad things, because we're always talking about all the things we love about Pokemon. And guys, it's good to be critical as long as you're not hateful.
Yeah.
Just remember, Urshifu is trash, and that's fine.
Everybody at home, let us know what grinds your gears about Pokemon in the mailbag this next upcoming week.
That should be a fun read, actually.
Until next time, not until next time, but we're going to move on to our Pokemon of the episode. We'll catch you on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 569, Garbodor, the Trash Heap Pokemon.
Its Pokemon Shield Gigantamax entry reads, it sprays toxic gas from its mouth and fingers. If the gas engulfs you, the toxins will seep in all the way down to your bones. Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Before we start, I remember the hate Garbodor got online. Unfairly, I must say.
It was like one of the poster children for the things that people hated about Gen 5.
Yeah. There's so many other reasons to hate Gen 5, not Garbodor.
Right. But it's always the same. They take every generation. It's like, oh, look at this. They're have no imagination left.
It's a trash bag. It's a trash bag and an ice cream cone. It's like, I think those are actually those are some of the better designs this gen. What are you talking about? Complain about the monkeys. The monkeys are bad. We don't.
Sorry, it's not a steel ball with magnets and screws.
Exactly, or sludge, or just
a pile of sludge.
Right.
Oh, what about horse? Like you guys had Gen 1 had horse.
Horse on fire. Jeez.
Yeah. This is. I think Garbodor is a good one. It is not in Gen 9, which is unfortunate and a travesty, but.
And let me tell you, as someone who dislikes Gigamax, he has one of the best ones.
It was awful competitively, but it is really cool.
Yeah.
The fun fact about it is Garbodor is the only not Gen 1 or Gen 8 Pokemon to receive a Gigantamax form.
Nice.
It is the only Pokemon that wasn't Gen 1 or Gen 8 that got one.
Because, again, he's a great Pokemon.
Well, it was used in a very good way. We were talking about this when we were talking about the top 5, bottom 5 Johto Pokemon a few weeks ago.
Yeah, where Oleana was the one with it.
Yeah, Oleana has a Garbodor because they use this trope a lot with Crobat in a lot of Pokemon games where the antagonist will just realize they're wrong and they'll end up loving their Pokemon, and then their Golbat will evolve into a Crobat the next time you battle them. And Oleana,
or they're just Cyrus,
her ace,
have it for reasons that I don't understand.
Yeah. Oleana though, it sees herself as like she's a beautiful woman, but on the inside she's disgusting, she's trash, and so her ace is Garbodor. which is really funny. It's really funny. Garbodor is not a particularly good Pokemon.
We look for good parts of this Sword and Shield story, and that's a good one. That's a good character.
That is a good one.
Usage.
That was a good one.
Job.
Yeah. Garbodor is not a good Pokemon, by the way. If you ever try to use it, Mono Poison, not great. But also its stats are kind of trash. Just like Garbodor, put them to 80 HP, 95 attack, 82 defense, 60 special attack, 82 special defense, 75 speed. There's nothing good about this Pokemon, actually. Yeah. There's just nothing.
It is a Pokemon that might get an evolution at some point.
It could realistically get one. Yeah.
I don't think anyone would complain if it got an evolution.
Where it has rocked, it's not doing this now, but it has in the past, is it used to be really, really good in the X and Y and Sun and Moon era for the TCG. Yeah. There were 2 of them that were just fantastic. Breakpoint, the set in X and Y, gave us this Garbotoxin Garbodor.
Yes, legendary.
And Garbotoxin is this ability. And it says when this Pokemon has a tool card attached to it, so any tool card, which is everybody's running tool cards in the TCG, each Pokemon in play and in each player's hand and their discard pile has no abilities except for Garbotoxin, so you can just shut off abilities. It was the original Path of the Peak, much worse than Path of the Peak too, but that was a dominating card at the time.
That's okay. Path of the Peak was probably too good.
Path of the Peak was a little bit, I don't know.
It also was originally in black and white too, but yeah.
Yeah.
There was the original Garbotoxin was Dragon's Exalted, but I wasn't playing at that time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. They did bring it back. And then in Guardians Rising, a TCG set in early Sun and Moon, they had another Garbodor who is great. Because it had for 1 psychic energy, because at the time Poison was psychic type. Poison is the only type in the TCG that has been 3 different colors in the Pokemon TCG, and I love that. It had for 1 psychic energy though Trashalanche. And And this attack does 20 damage for each item a card in your opponent's discard pile. And item cards are so important to play in the Pokemon trading card game that you would just destroy your opponent. Like 20, like this card could be something that's viable now, I feel.
You'd usually be doing like 200 damage. It was doing good. It was
like you could like Trashlanch Garbodor would be a reasonable card to play now in the TCG, I think. Like I think if you were to play a Trashlanch Garbodor deck, I think it would be almost equal power level to current TCG decks, like at least single prize decks for sure.
Right.
Like it's just as good, if not better, than United Wings. I like this is a hot take by me. So yeah, I don't know. I love Garbodor for that.
I mean, Cloth is better, but yeah.
Garbodor though. Garbodor
if
fun.
you would make him evolve, what would he be? What would we evolve him to? Like a trash compactor?
I don't know.
And make him steal poison?
I mean, that would give it poison steel. That would be cool.
Poison steel would be really cool. It becomes a dumpster.
Yeah. Oh, a dumpster fire, then it's poison fire.
Oh, poison fire? Dumpster fire? Oh. That's cool. I'm into it.
Oh, that would be good. Oh, I'd like that.
I like that a lot. That could happen. I'm here. I'm here for it.
Yep.
We have the ideas, Pokemon. You just got to come and ask for them, okay?
All right.
But yeah, that is Garbodor. I don't know what else to tell you other than
I mean, it's a classic.
I like it. The Gigantamax is fantastic as well. I love all of the things stuck in it.
It's just a huge
I love all the things.
pile of
little
garbage.
plane and the boat.
Great. Yep.
Yep. The plane, the boat. There's also like a giant Master Ball on the backside of it, actually.
Really?
Yeah. It's great. I love it. I love Garbodor. It's such a good Pokemon.
It is.
Come at me, haters.
Yep. Come at us.
And next week we defend Benelux.
All right, guys. So until next time, we are gonna kick it on over to our mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
Welcome to the mailbag. The mailbag is the part of the show where you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com and maybe have your email read on the show. Last week we asked you what you thought of the Johto games or the Johto region, and we're getting very excited to see what you guys have to say. With that, though...
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, because you missed the Puckle Badge Bonanza, Jushiro, you should get involved.
I know.
This is on you. This is on you.
It is on me. It is on me.
Get it in next month. Next month to VGC. It's gonna be fun.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, all the legends are gone. It's great.
You and I, we're gonna do it together, okay? I'm gonna be your accountability buddy for the Puckle Badge Bonanza, okay?
You might laugh, but if you do that, I am going to participate, because my main problem is that my attention span is horrible. If I have someone coaching me there, I'll do it.
Let's make the pledge right now. We're gonna be each other's accountability buddies.
Okay.
For the Puckle's Badge Bonanza in October. We're both making it to Master Ball, okay? It's happening.
Let's do it. Yes.
Okay, moving on.
Hisui and Zoroarks are gonna go.
This segment is brought to you by the fictional energy drink Green Toros, the energy drink that gives you hoofs.
Hooves.
And as always, Green Toros badge, yada, yada, yada. All right. With that said, we're going to jump into this first email. That is a short novel from the Once and Future Gamer. Hi, Puckle crew. Once and Future Gamer here. It's been a while since I emailed in. Real life gets in the way sometimes. I will try to keep this brief. He did not. That's what the narrator said. He did not.
Yeah.
Just before I jump into my thoughts on Johto, revisiting the topic from a few weeks back about the top and bottom Johto Pokemon. So when you say you're going to keep something brief, going back to old mailbag questions, bad way to do it. Throwing that out there. No context.
Everyone loves the top 5, though.
Tyranitar, Houndoom, Crobat, the Ampharos line, the Feraligatr line, Bottom, Macargo, the Hoppip line, Corsola, Hitmontop, Igglybuff. Okay, moving on. Anyway, regarding Johto, 2 thoughts. One is about the region in general. I remember when Gold and Silver released it, and it is still worth remembering that the world was a different place back then. Why so many people have fond memories for the games, I put down to nostalgia. You're incorrect. That's okay, though.
Unless you're talking about the...
We most likely had more freedom then to play the games. We weren't all rushing through them, and information was harder to come by. That doesn't explain why Heart Gold Soul Silver was a better game. The internet wasn't as prominent then, so a lot of the times the information came second or third hand, but whether it was true or not, it got hyped on the playground, and you didn't know if it was true or not. And then there was the anime back in the day. No internet, no streaming services. You had to happen across it on a morning or an afternoon, so it was new and unexpected. I think there's an element now that we have more of an idea in general of what it is or what might come in a Pokemon anime, or at least we probably did prior to Journeys. It was more unpredictable back in the day when it was new and no internet spoilers. Regarding the thought that Gold and Silver were meant to be more of Generation 1, hence why there are so many Generation 1 Pokemon in the Gym Leader teams, I can see the thinking behind it. What do you mean you can see the thinking? It was the intention. Like, they were just like, this is the sequel game and is going to be the last Pokemon game we ever make. However, just because that was what they were trying to do, it doesn't...
And no trainers get Scizor.
It doesn't make it right, even slightly. What do you mean it doesn't make it right? I'm so confused. I don't understand the rationale here. Second thought, it ties back into the Fire Red Leaf Green retrospective from a few weeks back. I got thinking about the idea of a Kanto game where for the post game, you go to Johto 3 years before the events in Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and then do the gyms.
I feel like that was speculation during Let's Go, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. I think 3 years early, this would look massively different to how it does in the Johto games. I don't think Faulkner would be a gym leader. I think it would still be his dad. That would be cool. I don't think Bugsy would be there. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Whitney or Claire would be there either. You're probably correct. Jasmine might still be a rock-type gym leader. She might be. That is actually a fun fact I think might actually be true. I think Price and Chuck would still be there, and 50-50 on whether Morty would be or not. I think Morty would be because he just lived in Ecruteak all the time and was really into Ho-Oh.
It would be funny if it was Eugene instead.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Like Morty takes it from Eugene.
That would be interesting, yeah. I think Faulkner's dad would be the gym leader in Violet City as a flying specialist. I think the Dragon's Den Elder would be a gym leader in Blackthorn City as a dragon specialist. I think the Sinnoh Elite Four Aaron would be the Azalea Town gym leader, since it's canon that he was a gym leader before before he became an Elite Four member. And given the connections between Sinnoh and Johto, it makes sense. I agree with this. I could see Karen as the Goldenrod gym leader, giving us the chance to see a lesser spotted dark type gym leader. Although there's an argument for it being Will, given the connections between Goldenrod and Saffron and the psychic gym leader idea. It would be neat if the future gym leaders were gym trainers in the gym as sort of mini bosses. That is a cool idea. I think there's something in the idea that they're all new gym leaders on account of some of their teams being lackluster. Though I'm not sure what Price's excuse is for this, given the length of his time as a trainer, bar him intentionally scaling down his team to face off with gym challengers. It could be that his team is old. That could be part of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I feel like it would be a nice bit of world building.
Hear me out. What if in the past he had a Mamoswine that just got too old and became a Mamoswine again?
I feel like it would be a nice bit of world building since a lot of love goes towards sequel games.
It aged down to a Piloswine.
It might have gone on a bit too long, but I hope I got my thoughts across. Have a great day, once and future gamer. You've certainly got some of them across. All right, well, thank you for that.
Hear me out. One other thing. Wasn't Norman from Olivine originally?
Oh, that would be good.
Would he be the gym leader?
Yeah.
And like Jasmine's his understudy or something?
Yeah. That would make sense.
Also, what would active Team Rocket in Johto look like?
They wouldn't be active because they just dissolved.
Yeah, they wouldn't be there. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All right, so this next email is going to be from the Pokemon Ranger. There it is. Yeah, the Pokemon Ranger. I think you've got that one, Sigma.
Yeah. Ahoy, Puckle and gang. The Pokemon Ranger here. Your question was about our experience in Johto. My favorite version of Gen 2 is the Pokemon Crystal version. Ooh, somebody doesn't like Mareep. The only thing I disliked was that there was no Mareep in the game. Okay, there we go. It is the problem. It is the legitimate problem with that game.
It is the reason to not play Crystal.
Right? Mareep is the most Johto of Johto Pokemon. I don't know why it's not there. I owned Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I still have my original Gold and Silver cartridges. Some years ago, I lent my stepbrother my crystal cartridge and I had never gotten it back. I now have a digital copy on my 3DS. When I first played the game was when the game released here in the US. I noticed a lot of changes from Gen 1 to 2. The first change I saw was that the game was much more colorful. There were multiple colors within the world space, and with the Pokemon, instead of the entire game being one color from Gen 1 except for yellow.
Yeah, I think that was the promotion was like, oh, this is the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, it was more designed for Game Boy Color in mind. Did Game Boy Color come out after Red and Blue, like in Japan?
It came out after Gold and Silver, I think.
No. The Game Boy Color came out before Gold and Silver, for sure.
Yeah, it came out between like Red and Blue and Gold and Silver, I assume, right?
I think it came out in Japan after Red and Green, but I do not believe it came out before Red and Blue in the US.
That's what I was wondering.
It's like an awkward Japan timing.
That's what I assumed was the case. Like,
yeah, the Game Boy
because it was like what, a 2-year difference for us. So
the original Pokemon games, there was a huge gap.
I assumed Game Boy Color was probably 97, 98, because I know we got our games with Game Boy Color, which I assume came out like 97, 98, something like that.
Game Boy Color came out in the US in November 18th, 1998. In Japan, it released October 21st, 1998. And then for those of you at home who are just like,
okay, so yeah,
when did Pokemon Red and Blue come out? Those came out, I believe, September 98.
It was 96 in Japan.
It's September 28th, 1998. So the Game Boy Color came out a little bit after that.
Because we got our Game Boy Color in the games for Christmas.
Oh, it would be the same year, so that makes sense.
It might have been like a year later, but
I think I got my Game Boy Color at the end of... Yeah, I got mine at the end of 98.
I don't even remember.
I don't remember the actual answer to these questions.
I think we got ours in... I think I got mine in 99, though. Like Christmas 99. So it was like a year later. But
Gold and Silver existed when the Game Boy Color came out, because if you do put Gold and Silver into your Game Boy Color, you do get color.
The difference is being designed for it, right? Like
Crystal was designed for the Game Boy Color because the cartridge has the little bump on it that...
I mean, it has the little nub, yeah, that blocks it from going in an original Game Boy. Let's continue the email. After this history lesson for Game Boy Color's releasing, I noticed that the battle graphics were different as well. It was great. There was day and night, and there was a game clock too, along with the date. The bag had compartments for different items instead of everything being in the bag, so you could carry more different items instead of being limited to 40 or so different items in the bag. The bag in Gen 1 was awful. Like, legitimately bad. I remember maxing it out and having to throw things away. Good times. When I first played the game, I played it like I played Gen 1 and ran through it quickly and didn't do much of the side stuff in the game. After a few more playthroughs, I started doing the side stuff and playing the game the way it was meant to be played, which became a lot more fun way to play it. It was cool that you got to get phone numbers from other trainers and get calls from them while you were on your adventure, and some of them would help you get certain items. What was frustrating as a kid was going all over the map trying to catch the legendary dogs. Now I've got more patience and enjoy the challenge. Gen 2 is still one of my most favorite generations of the Pokemon games. I still get nostalgic playing it and started playing it again due to the Bonanza, but I haven't made much progress. I'm currently taking on Whitney in Goldenrod City, and of course, having trouble with her milk tank. My team currently consists of Crocona, Growlithe, and Zubat, all in low 20s. Have a great week and looking forward to another episode. Y'all are great, and keep up the great work, the Pokemon Ranger.
All right. Well, our last email today is going to be from Nico. So you've got this one, Jushiro.
Yes, I do. Hey, Paco, it's your boy, Nico. Silver was my first Pokemon game, so I have a lot to say about Johto. Like how catching and racing a Larvitar with my older brother was a fundamental bonding experience between us. and how a nostalgic painting I made of Tyranitar is framed in his son's nursery. Actually, let's just talk about some hills that will die on, Johto Edition. Mantine needs its Remoraid back. Why did we remove this in the first place? You know what would have been 100 times cooler than spitting a special attack from your adorable mouth? Maybe blasting it with your sidearm. Imagine the animation, the whole wing recoiling with Remoraid as a powerful beam shoots it backwards. Dragapult gets away with this, so what's up? Mantine has read the Constitution, Mantine has a permit, Mantine knows its rights. Keep Mantine away from schools. Also,
can we evolve Mantine into like having a cowboy hat on? Can that be the evolution?
Also, let's talk about Chuckle. It could be. Let's talk about about Chuckle. Have you owned a turtle before? Fun fact, turtle's water smells disgusting. I imagine Chuckle's juice tastes like a combination of that and rotten fruit. Even if it does somehow come out tasting like, and this is generous, kombucha, there is no way it won't make you sick. It's literally the mold Pokemon. And people are drinking from it from the tab in the Pokemon Horizons. It's disgusting. That is pretty hilarious. It should be alcohol is what it should be. It's fermented to no end. Finally, Chris is
It should be a wine, yeah.
Yep. Finally, Chris is it's better than Lyra. Whenever Johto comes back in either a Legends game or a remake, they better pick the first and best female protagonist. That's it for me.
I don't disagree with that one.
That's it for me. I leave you with a question. Should I get my toddler nephew a Larvitar plush? I really think it could be a cute gesture, but my brother hasn't owned or played a Nintendo game since we played Pokemon Silver in the 90s, so I kind of feel it's a selfish idea. Let me know. No, not a selfish idea at all. And the whole point of you giving your nephew a plushie or a gift is for you to create a bond with your nephew, not your brother. So it would not be selfish. It would be pretty much based on your personality and what would be expected of a good uncle. So go ahead and give him that plush. And then when he asks, when he's older, why did you give me this? You can tell them the story about how you and his father bonded over that Pokemon. So I think it's a win-win. Anywho, have a great weekend, everyone.
Plus, sitting cuties exist, so it's...
Have a great weekend, everyone. Nico, P.S. I have the green tolerance. Thank you for letting us know. It helps.
I think I might give it to Once and Future Gamer anyway, because he sparked a lot of conversation. So,
yeah, honestly, yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Email us next week at what gripes you have about the Pokemon franchise. If you would like to, you can send us emails about anything else as well. We really appreciate it. Additionally, if you want to keep up with us throughout the week and maybe join the Puckle Badge Bonanza, you can come to our Discord at pucklediscord.com. You can follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Additionally, you can catch us at YouTube at youtube.com/pucklepodcast. You can also go check out our Twitch at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. Finally, you can go ahead and help support the show by going over to Patreon at patreon.com/pucklepodcast and go over to our... Go over to Troll and Toad and buy some cardboard at trollandtoad.com using code PucklePod5 at checkout. So with that, guys, I have been Trainer Thatch.
Some say I've been Jushiro.
And I've been R.Sigma.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.
Flip side.